Alafia, this is yeyefini.com, Balanced Living. Welcome to my newsletter for the month of May. I am so excited that this is our first newsletter on video. I promise you that you will be able to have me much more up and center. And so I am very excited that during the month of April, last month, I was able to be a part of the African and Diaspora Religious Studies Association in their presentation in the Southern University of New Orleans on Friday, April the 20th. And it was called Roots, Rocks, and Ring Shouts. And what it was about was connecting us to the spiritual power and centeredness that people who are of African descent, primarily, but of all people, who will be able to use African spirituality for challenges, changes, and triumphs of Orisha tradition in America. And it was a 50-year retrospective. I had the opportunity of speaking, be one of the people in the symposium that spoke, and I spoke as to where do we go from here with Wakanda, moving to the future, and using the energy of the Black Panther movie, and how can we use that in bringing our community together. So if you're interested in getting that particular symposium, it was amazing, with Dr. Efunlayo, Dr. Funlayo Woods, you could go to adrsa.org and you will be able to get the full essence of this Dr. Funlayo E. Wood, who is the founding director of the African and Diaspora Religious Studies Association. I was so excited in being able to be there and go on a tour of the graveyards of the ancestors of all of the people of New Orleans. And it, of course, it was the Catholic graveyard where there were Black people buried and white people buried as well. And so in that whole dynamics of it, I felt the power of the ancestors speaking, and they manifested themselves in such amazing and wonderful way that it was raining. And all of a sudden, we were trying to decide if we were going to follow through in the rain. And some of us said, no, it's raining. Others said, yes, I'm going on. As soon as we got to the African graveyard, the sun started shining. It stopped raining. And we were able to have a wonderful, wonderful tour. So that was an ancestral experience here that I witnessed, that I wanted to really just, give honor to our ancestors for the power that they have. And sometimes we take for granted that we can't see them. They're not there. They're not manifesting themselves, because in this culture, we don't see it visibly every day. And so today, what we want to speak about is, of course, the 3 ways of honoring your ancestors during the month of May as a Memorial Day celebration practice. Because during the month of May, we in the Western Hemisphere, at least in America, we have Memorial Day where we honor the heroes and sheroes from the different wars and that. And so we remember in our families, in traditional African ceremony, we want to know that there are 3 basic ways that you yourself can enhance your connection to your spirit. Number 1, we need to always call their names. Why? Because in connecting to your ancestors' names, you remember their deeds, their sacrifices. You can get the empowerment, the spirit. They serve as examples as to how when you come to a point in your life where it's of crisis or challenge, that if my ancestors went through this is a piece of cake, and you'll be able to take that power from them. Also, in bringing them through ceremony, you're elevating their spirit so that they can be your guides. They can infuse themselves in your energy field, and of course help you, your children. And remember, in Ifa, African traditional world spiritual system, we understand that reincarnation is an opportunity for our children, for us to come back on earth. And so when we call our ancestors' names, and when we serve them with light and with flowers and with foods that will center us to connecting to their energy, what we're doing is allowing their spirits to live again. And so that's the one of the most important ways. Is, of course, we have to always call their names. But the 3 ways is, one of them, the first way is you want to get a roots reading. You want to get a roots reading, Edile, family, spiritual reading or forecast. And in doing so, you're able to tap into the energies, the totems, the colors, the symbolisms, some of the threads that pass through from one generation to the other. It comes up in these readings, and you're able to find out exactly why some of the things that you happen connect to what aspect, where, what part of nature your people were involved in. Did they live on the coast? Did they live inland? All of that comes up. And also it comes up with some of the, what side of the family that your predominance is, if you're from your mother's side or your father's side. And so you can see some of the traits in it and glorify in it. And sometimes close some of the barriers that sometimes we're looking for and looking through. The next way, of course, is to have a very clear understanding of how to create a sacred space. In creating a sacred space for your ancestors, you're going to put it in a place where you know that is honoring. You're going to put it in a place that when you walk in or when you feel it, you're like, oh, wow, my people are with me. My ancestors are with me. When you're going through, leaving the door. Okay, Grandma, I'm leaving you here. Watch things for me. That's the way that people of traditional, people who connect to the power of ancient African wisdom teachings understand that spirit never dies. It always is infusing itself. And you know how you have dreams and you're going to dream state? That's what you're doing. You're visiting another realm, but it's the same physical world. But the spiritual world is so close to connected to us that sometimes we go in and out of it and are not aware. And so by having a sacred place where you're going to have pictures, you can have it on the walls. You can have it on frames, and you have water. Because water is the thing that holds us, that captures us, that connects us to each other, the vibratory essence of life that moves through water, and water pushes us through any aspects of life that we're going through. Also, you would put some flowers there to remind them, or a plant, pictures of them, things that they had, a pipe or something like that, that when you see it, you feel it. Their energy, their essence is still on it. And, just how you were able to check and trace your DNA through certain, your hair or your nails or your skin or your blood. It's the same way that your ancestors are able to do that. And lastly, the last way that you want to use in connecting to your ancestors is, of course, learning how, when, why to set up a shrine, how to have it. And so in my radio show, the Ask Yafini show on Blog Talk on May the 6th, which is next Sunday, you will be able to ask questions and go into a little more detail. The importance of bringing us together as a people universally, especially in the diaspora, because we've been disconnected by not knowing exactly where our ancestors, we know we're from Africa, but in terms of the location, the modalities, the strength, the things that we do. And then lastly, the one that we're going to have, because if you already know exactly how to set up a shrine, you've gotten your roots reading or your Edile reading, your forecast for your family to see the totem, the colors, the things that you'll use and bringing them forth. Then the last one is, of course, is actually erecting the shrine that includes the stones, the implements, and the things that are going to bring them grounding. Because when we walk on earth, the material, the matter that we use as physical form, the energies of the stones are able then to be a vehicle and a channel for taking you there whenever you need on a faster, easier way. And so you will deify your ancestors. They will be in a space just as gods, as infusers of your power. And so in that aspect of it, then you will be able to receive that as well. I want you to know that the work of spirit has always been, since I was a little child, since I was 7 years old and I met spirit for the first time, just in hearing songs and smelling perfumes and watching people dancing to African songs that I didn't even know in Panama. And then reaching to a level where I was able to recognize them and they recognized me. I've always moved by them. Move from one country to another, move from one location to another. Spirit is always using me to just know that life is wonderful, especially when you know that spirit got your back. And so during the month of May, take this time to call your family members together and, respectfully. And in some families, you may not be in a place to receive it, and it's not a force. What you would do is then just make sure that you have pictures, stories, legends, come together and create a space of celebration for annual celebration during the barbecue or picnic or whatever it is that you're going to do, and to make sure that you talk to them about the importance of having a sacred space where they can call on their family ancestors. creating a place where you are going to introduce them possibly to the concept of having a roots reading or a Edile reading, as well as then taking it to a step further and getting a Yoruba priest to do the things that are necessary to consecrate the sacred shrines for your mother's side of the family as well as your father's side. It's very, very important. And so, and lastly, we just want to thank you all for always supporting my ministry as a way of assisting us during the month of May. If you go on my website, you will see that my roots reading, Edile readings, I am gifting you 25% discount of the cost, so that you'll be able to, to really enjoy that. Because I'm still in the energies of what my ancestors told me the first time I had a roots reading. And they told me I would be doing what it is I'm doing. This thing of where in the world is Yeyefini, of traveling all over the world and speaking and helping others and initiating and training and doing ceremonies for spirit. They said I would be doing that. I didn't really intend to do that. I wanted to open an art gallery and have a bunch of babies. And it ended up being that I am here and I know you and you know me. So for that, I'm so grateful. I'm still living in the Odu of Oshe Rosu, where I love culture, I love clothes, I love anything that's going to paint a beautiful picture of Africa. That's where I am, and that's my roots reading, and that's my family. And so my family connection. So again, also as a way of even extending further the gifting, we are going to have a class on ancestral celebration, a 1-hour conference call, and you can go on my website and register for that again. Of course, we have limited space because we're going to be online, and so we're asking you to sign up quickly, early for that class. And it's $25, and my classes are usually $60. So it's $25 during the month of May, so that you'll be able to tap into the power of your ancestors and use the 3 ways of magnetizing and manifesting the power of your ancestors during the month of May. So thank you again. And remember, if you're interested in seeing the symposium that we had on the challenges and triumphs of Orisha tradition in America, 50-year perspective on it, as well as Juju Justice, Policies of Black Religion, Wakanda, and many, many other topics, go and look at definitely at adrsa.org to get your link, and you will be able to find out more about the ceremonies that we're having next year again in New Orleans, honoring the ancestors, having the Oshun Festival. It was amazing. My first time to New Orleans, it will not be my last, because Spirit spoke to me. I saw it. I was standing in Congo Square, finding the history that our ancestors, what we did in New Orleans to make it the beautiful and powerful spiritual center that it is for African people that are revolutionary. And so we must come together this year as the reading of the year. If you see my reading of the year on yeyefini.com for the year 2018, you will see that it says that the way that we are going to be able to link and find each other is by having ancestral celebration, honoring our heroes and sheroes, and honoring our ancestors and bringing forth their power, their energy. So this movie, Black Panther, and the concept of Wakanda, we must bring that back together. That is the energy that we created when we created Oyotunji African Village in South Carolina. It was about using the knowledge and the power of ancestor and using ritual and securing a place for us to leave a legacy. And the legacy is still living. And because of that, we must give praise and honor to the aspects of our lives that has always understood that community is the most important. You're a part of my community. I'm a part of your community. And in bringing forward the concept of Wakanda, we're bringing forward what has always been. African people relating and depending on each other and connecting to spirit, using the herbs, using the song, using the legacy, the respect, the place of having women in a place of honor and power and prestige and glory and intelligence, and having our men as protectors. But also we must accept and address the issue that has challenged us in reconnecting to our ancestors, is that some of the secrets that we held from our ancestors, the damage that it could cause to us is we cannot repair it. And so make sure that we're talking to our children, our grandchildren, our relatives, our friends, our students about what it is that our ancestors did, what it is that the secrets are that perhaps are keeping us separate? What are the common threads? And look for systems that you will be able to create in your own community based on African spiritual practice, such as rites of passage and my self-empowerment intensive, which is a 7-day intensive to heal 7 generations of family trauma through ritual. This is through rituals that the ancestors gave me in a cave in Jamaica. And we use this in a system. So go to yayafini.com for more. And every month I will be here with my video for my newsletter. So I'm very excited, as you can see, about that. So until we meet again in June, make sure that you are doing everything to connect yourself to your ancestors, and go on my website and let me know how things have happened, how things change after you set up your altar, after you got your roots reading. And if you're interested in roots consultations, as I said, just go to yayafini.com. I've been doing them for a number of years, and I just love it. I just love it. So I love you, and know that I may not know you directly, but the energy that I received that has kept me and inspired me to do the work that I do, I know it's coming from a place of love from you. Because if it was not, I would not be here. So thank you, and have a wonderful, beautiful, celebratory month of May for your ancestors. Egun wole wole atumbo ye, egun wole wole alashe o, egun wole wole atumbo ye, egun wole wole alashe o, egun wole wole atumbo ye, egun wole wole alashe o, egun wole wole atumbo ye, egun wole wole alashe o, egun wole wole atumbo ye, egun wole wole alashe o. Egun wole wole atumboye, egun wole wole alasheo. What I'm saying is, Egun, come, welcome, welcome, come back to earth. We are giving honor to you as kings and queens. Ashe. Have a royal, wonderful month of May.